Am I the a-hole for exposing my ex-husband's double life to his new family on Christmas Day? Before we got to the story, I plan to give away $100 to whoever has the best opinion regarding this matter. So stay tuned, and I'll announce the winner in the few next videos. You only have to post your opinion on the comment below and consider to like and subscribe so that you'll not miss the announcement and many other future giveaway. Thanks, and back to the story. I, 42 years old female, never thought I'd be writing one of these posts. Here I am, questioning whether I've gone too far in my quest for truth and justice. This is a long and complicated story, so buckle up. My ex-husband Mark and I were married for 15 years before our divorce 3 years ago. We have 2 children together, Emma and Lucas. Our marriage ended when I discovered he was cheating on me with a coworker. The divorce was messy, to say the least. Mark tried to paint me as the problem, claiming I was unstable and unfit to care for our children. He even attempted to get full custody, spinning tales about my supposed neglect and emotional abuse. Thankfully, the judge saw through his lies, and we ended up with joint custody. Since the divorce, Mark has been anything but a model ex-husband and father. His child support payments have been inconsistent at best, often arriving late or not at all. He frequently cancels his weekends with the kids at the last minute, always with the same excuse: he's busy with work. At first, I tried to be understanding. After all, we all have work commitments, right? But as time went on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Maybe it was women's intuition, or perhaps just years of experience with Mark's lies. But I knew there was more to the story. The inconsistencies in his stories, the way he'd get defensive when questioned about his whereabouts, the mysterious phone calls he'd take out of earshot when he was picking up or dropping off the kids. It all added up to something fishy. For months, I debated what to do. Should I confront him directly? Try to snoop through his phone or email? In the end, after much deliberation and with a heavy heart, I decided to hire a private investigator to follow Mark. I know some might say this was an invasion of privacy, and maybe it was, but I felt I needed to know the truth, not just for my sake, but for the sake of my children. What the PI uncovered was far worse than I could have ever imagined. It turns out Mark has been living a complete double life for the past decade. He has another wife, Sarah, 38F, and 3 children aged 8, 6, and 3. They live in a suburb about an hour away from us. Mark had been maintaining 2 separate families, alternating weeks between us for years before our divorce, and now between his new family and his time with our kids. I was absolutely shocked and disgusted. The level of deception required to pull this off was staggering. Not only had he betrayed me in the most fundamental way possible, but he'd also been lying to our children about why he was often unavailable. And now, he was doing the same to this other family. The PI provided me with extensive evidence. Photos of Mark with his other family, videos of him playing happy husband and father in a house I'd never seen, financial records showing how he'd been funding this double life, and even a copy of a marriage certificate. It was undeniable proof of Mark's deception. I spent weeks agonizing over what to do with this information. Part of me wanted to confront Mark directly, to see the look on his face when he realized his house of cards had finally collapsed. But I knew he would just try to lie his way out of it, or beg me to keep it secret, for the sake of the children. I thought about telling Sarah privately, but I worried she might not believe me, or that Mark would somehow intercept the message and spin it as the ravings of a bitter ex-wife. In the end, I decided that both families deserved to know the truth. I couldn't bear the thought of this other woman and her children living in the dark, just as I had for so many years. They deserved to know the kind of man they were dealing with, the lies they'd built their lives upon. I put together a comprehensive package of evidence, including a detailed letter explaining everything I knew about Mark's double life. I made the decision to send it to Sarah and her children on Christmas Day. I chose this day for 2 reasons. 1, I knew Mark would be with them, as he had told our kids he was working over the holidays. And 2, I felt that if their family was going to be blown apart, at least they would have each other for support during the holiday break. I sent the package via courier to arrive on Christmas morning. I included my phone number in case Sarah wanted to reach out, though I wasn't sure if she would. The aftermath was explosive, to say the least. Sarah called me that afternoon, alternating between sobbing uncontrollably and raging with fury. She confirmed that Mark had been there when they opened the package, and that he had finally confessed to everything when confronted with the overwhelming evidence. She told me that their children were devastated, Christmas had been ruined, and that she didn't know how they would ever recover from this betrayal. Mark, as you might expect, has been blowing up my phone non-stop. He's called me every name in the book, accusing me of being a vindictive bitch who's hell-bent on ruining his life. He's furious that I destroyed his family and traumatized innocent children. He's threatening to sue me for defamation and invasion of privacy, and swears he'll fight for full custody of our kids, claiming that my actions prove I'm mentally unstable. Sarah, on the other hand, has been in regular contact with me since that first call. After the initial shock wore off, she's been remarkably understanding. We've been supporting each other through this nightmare, sharing stories and realizing just how much Mark had lied to both of us over the years. We're even considering teaming up for legal action against Mark, as both of us feel we were defrauded throughout our marriages. My own children are understandably upset and confused. I've been as honest with them as I can be, given their ages. They're hurt by their father's deception, but also relieved to finally understand why he was always so absent from their lives. Emma, being older, has taken it particularly hard. She feels betrayed not just by her father's actions, but by the fact that she has half-siblings she never knew about. Lucas is angry, but seems to be coping by throwing himself into his hobby. The reactions from Mark's family and our mutual friends have been mixed, to say the least. Some are absolutely horrified by his actions and have cut ties with him completely. They've reached out to offer support to me and the kids, saying they always knew something was off about Mark, but never imagined it was this bad. Others, while acknowledging that what Mark did was wrong, think I went too far by exposing him on Christmas Day. They say I should have confronted him privately or found a less destructive way to handle it. Some have accused me of using the children, both mine and Sarah's, as pawns in some twisted game of revenge. They argue that by choosing Christmas Day, I deliberately maximized the emotional damage to all involved. My parents are fully supportive of my decision, saying Mark deserved to be exposed and that Sarah and her children needed to know the truth. My sister, however, thinks I should have waited until after the holidays, arguing that ruining Christmas for innocent kids was a step too far. I've been second-guessing myself ever since. On one hand, I stand by my decision. I believe both families had a right to know the truth, and I don't think there would ever have been a good time to reveal such life-shattering information. Mark had already ruined countless Christmases for both families with his lies and absences. I just brought it all to light. On the other hand, I can't help but feel guilty when I think about Sarah's children opening that package on Christmas morning. Did I rob them of their last innocent Christmas? Should I have found a way to tell Sarah privately and let her decide how to handle it? Was I subconsciously trying to hurt Mark by ruining his Christmas, rather than purely seeking justice? The whole situation has become even more complicated as Mark's deceptions continue to unravel. Turns out he's been embezzling from his company to fund his double life, and there's now a criminal investigation underway. Some are saying that if I hadn't exposed him, he might have gotten away with it for years more, stealing even more money. I'm trying to focus on being there for my kids and on building a support network with Sarah as we both navigate this new reality. But the mixed reactions from friends and family have made me question whether I did the right thing, or if my desire for revenge clouded my judgment. So YouTube, I turn to you. Am I the a-hole for exposing my ex-husband's double life to his new family on Christmas Day? Was there a better way to handle this, or did the end justify the means? I'm genuinely torn and could use some outside perspectives.